Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we'll be doing a quick sketch of Kingpin from the recent movie Spiderman into the Spider-Verse. So what we have here is I'm going to do him from a certain angle that he is looking all big and menacing and looking down. So the interesting thing about this whole setup was regarding the Kingpin, that he was done slightly in a very outlandish what you say proportion. So I mean, he was always big, he was always what you call overbearing and heavy, strong, but not this big as they showed in this particular movie. And I really love the design because it's as I said, like very outlandish, but really not sure why they did not tap into a similar version before this. So what I'm doing is putting down the arms right there. So I know it looks like an ape at this time, but again, he's that big, so that he wears a suit at all times, and his head is tucked like somewhere here, so it's small compared to the rest of his frame. And of course, like, there's a lot of life in the head itself. So once you have the circle down, you're going to put in some proportions that will define the Kingpin. So I'm putting in ears right there. I'm having him look, so he's looking, there's the half of the face, so he's looking like at us in this particular direction. I've actually made the head a little bigger than it is in the movie, and we can always fix that by increasing things around him, and that was the beauty of this particular animated character design. So his features deep inward toward the head. He had this pointy mob boss crooked nose, and surprisingly some bone in those cheeks, eyebrows, and in spite of the immense Goliath proportions, he had expressive eyes actually. So as shown in the tragedy that he had to go through in terms of his family. And then there's some skin folds right there, some cheek features coming from the outside, but minimal. And then of course he had that grimace. There was the chin, and then the very, very well-known skin folds, the double and the triple cheeks going. And then of course there's the suit that the Kingpin is always snazzily dressed in. And then we come down and put down the suit right there. And there is the groin area, so he had like smaller legs. I'm going to make that a little small, and I'm going to give him his hefty hands. So that is actually the very simple but very effective sketch of this character in this movie. So if you haven't checked it out, you should actually, because it is one of the better versions of the character. It's one of the better offerings from the Marvel universe. I mean, I even enjoyed it more than certain mainstream movies. I mean, I know I might sound a little biased, but yes, I was always a Spider-Man fan, and it's been a long time since there was a movie that actually made somebody feel good about being a Spider-Man fan. Yeah, there's like tragedy in this. As I said, Kingpin's is not the only tragedy. There's another tragedy also that goes deep into the legend of Spider-Man himself, but very interestingly done. And yes, I mean, of course, I'm not like advocating the movie itself. I'm advocating the character. And for that matter, even Kingpin, as minimal as the dialogue he had in this movie, it was very, very awesome character breakdown or development, whichever way you want to put it. So I'm putting in some tones depending on the light source that is coming in from that side, and I'm putting in inks, well, in this case I'm putting in pencils right into the suit. So I would recommend that you should go with lighter pencils. If you're using pencil to just chalk this guy out, you should use lighter tones all around, and then highlight in the very few curves and folds with darker pencil, and it will just, you know, blend in together very nicely. So Wilson Fisk, as he's called, or the Kingpin, first appeared in the 1960s, if I recall. It was created by the great Stan Lee, like the majority of the cornerstone Marvel characters. And he was always like represented as the mob boss, but with sometimes he would have the occasional conflict within himself to do the right thing. So he would become sort of an anti-hero for just a little bit. And he's been the antagonist primarily at the urban level to Spider-Man, and then at the odd time to Daredevil. Actually, Daredevil and Kingpin had a very, very appreciated, critically acclaimed comic rivalry, and you should check that out too. But again, back to this version. So all the black quick fills, this is a sketch and not necessarily as we call like a super work of art. So if you get the sketching right, it means some smudging, because he's really all jet black in the in the movie, but here in pencil I think it will translate a little more appealingly if we just get two sorts of tones going. So thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe. Keep in touch. Have yourself a wonderful day.